Thousand Island dressing. It's not just for salads anymore. I put it on burgers. I put it on salads. Okay, it's for burgers and salads mostly. But it's a really, really good sauce. And I dip veggies in it and stuff too. But anyway, it's a very simple thing. And today I'm going to make it with tofu. That's right, tofu instead of mayonnaise. Because, you know, sometimes when you make stuff, you want choices. And this is one of those times when I want a choice. I don't want to have something that's super high in calories. I want to make something a little lower in calories. And to do that, well, you need a blender. It doesn't have to be a super high-speed fancy blender, just any blender will actually work. But the real secret, the super secret to this dressing is this right here. This is Mori Nu silken tofu. This happens to be the extra firm, but you could use the soft, the firm, they're all silken tofu, all right? The extra firm seems to work really, really nice. It has a little higher protein content. But what's really cool about this is there's 4 servings in here. This is 180 calories for the entire container. And this makes enough for easily 3, maybe even 4 salads or like 12 burgers. So you're not really getting a lot in any one serving. We will have a link to this in the description of this video, but you can usually find this in Asian food stores and things like that. It's shelf stable. How cool is that? This was just sitting on a shelf right over there and it's good for like a year. I mean, it's insane. This, let me see, is there a date? March 17th, 2023. We've had this at least 3 months. So it's like 8 to 9 months shelf stable. That's phenomenally good. And to use it, I just cut the tabs off and the liquid comes out. See, that's why I got a cup here. Just cut the ends off like this, using scissors that I only use for food, by the way. Yeah. And then I just cut up the middle on the lid and all the liquid's coming out all over. I have not figured out a way to do this totally neat yet. But you know, if you watch my shows, you know neatness is, well, not my thing. But once you have that liquid drained out a little bit, just give it a little bit of a squeeze and get it right into the blender. See, super easy. Let me get rid of this. Wipe up my liquid mess here. I'll wipe off my scissors too. Okay, into that, I want to add, well, a little bit of onion powder. How much? See, this is where I play it a little bit fast and loose. I just kind of don't really measure. I would say probably a teaspoon now. And we can go garlic powder, because, you know, onion powder, garlic powder, they add flavor to everything. You can go with like a tablespoon of garlic powder. You can go more or less if you want, more or less. Black pepper. I like some black pepper in my Thousand Island. Not everybody does. Just, you know, a few quick grinds. It's all good. And then my favorite sauce of all time, ketchup. Those of you that know me know that ketchup is like the universal sauce in my house. Yes, it's got sugars. Yes, it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but you know what? We get the Heinz Simply, no high fructose corn syrup. I'm okay with that. It actually uses real sugar, which is better. Is it health food? No, of course not. But this is still better than using mayo. How much ketchup? Well, a good 1/4 cup, probably. I usually go with about half as much ketchup as tofu. So that's the easy way to go there. Then put the lid on. Take that for a spin in your blender. If it gets too thick, sometimes you just gotta, you know, get in there and move it around a little bit. You can also add a tiny amount of water if you really want to. I'm trying to avoid that. Instead, I'm just gonna push it off the sides. You don't really need to blend this long. Really, you're just trying to break up the tofu and get the ketchup mixed into it is all we're trying to do here. I'm making more of a mess, banging that thing to get all the stuff off. All right, I'm gonna throw that back on the blender. Okay, now it's liquefied. Get yourself a bowl and get it out of there and into the bowl. See, it looks like a mayo product already, right? That's the idea here. But this has protein in it. So if you're worried about getting enough protein in your salads, this is a great way to add protein to your salad because you're eating tofu. If I have any complaints with a Vitamix blender, it is this. Getting the stuff out afterwards. It's the only issue I have. A lot of blenders, like the bottom part comes off and you can just get to it. Well, you know, win some, lose some, right? Other than that, these are phenomenal blenders. But we do have this fancy silicone thing here that we got at Publix, I think, but I think we can get them on Amazon too, that helps to get everything out, or as much of out as you care to bother with. And it just seems to work really, really well. All right, that's enough of that. So what you have now is like what they call a French dressing, sort of. I don't really like the French dressing. I like Thousand Island. So pickle relish. Now this happens to be Heinz sweet relish. You can use the pickle relish of your choice. Some people like to cut up small like sweet pickles and use that instead. I'm literally just going to take some of this relish and give it a couple good squirts in there. I like a lot of relish in my dressing. If pressed and I had to answer, I'd say about a quarter cup. And again, this is 10 calories per tablespoon. So if I used a quarter cup, that's 40 calories. Ketchup, by the way, if I used a quarter cup, 80 calories. So we have 180 plus 80 is 260 plus 40, 300 calories. I'm not counting the other two, the herbs. They don't really count. 300 calories in this entire bowl. Are you gonna eat this entire bowl in one shot? You better not. I wouldn't even eat this entire bowl in one shot. This is good for several salads, several burgers. Let me just give this a good mix.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolcino d'amor, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolcino.
Now the reason I didn't put the relish in before we blended is because I like to see the chunks of the pickle relish in there. If you don't want that, you can just blend the whole thing up. It would be a little bit weird texture-wise, but you could totally do that. And now we have Thousand Island dressing. Let me just get some on a spoon here so I can taste it for you. Because, you know, no video about food is complete without eating something. You have to put something in your mouth. Okay. First, it tastes like a mayo-based dressing. This is perfect. I didn't add any salt because the relish has some salt, the ketchup has some salt. So you don't really need to add salt to this. The flavor is spot on. It's got a lovely thickness to it. See how thick and rich that is? Oh my God, just do that. And what I do with it, put a lid on it, store it in the fridge for up to a week, maybe 2, if it lasts that long. You do want to mix this up because the tofu will tend to coagulate again. It'll come back together. So you mix this up, put it on your burger, put it on your salad. It's Thousand Island dressing, people. Use it however you want. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.